It is Sunday, January 4th. I'm just making sure. It's Gene Jermaine here with Nick. How you doing, Nick?
What's going on, brother? Hold on, let me go somewhere quiet. How are you?
I'm all right.
Good.
Feeling good. Just kind of enjoying the day thus far.
How are you? I'm happy enjoying it, man. I'm excited. As always, let's get it.
As always.
Let's get it.
You know, I am always like looking and enjoying what the market has to provide for us. And it's quite interesting because you know, as you talk with people, you start to realize that there isn't a lot of information that people are very knowledgeable about. Even myself, I'm not knowledgeable about majority of these things, and I always have to re-teach myself, certain terms, certain ideas, concepts. So that's why having this meeting every Sunday usually helps to provide a better week, right? To give a direction for where the week should go.
Correct. Yeah. I even if my week has been great in numbers or down in numbers, I can attest that every Sunday you having this forum where we could discuss and talk about strategies and other things does help. And my numbers yet don't dictate how well it's been doing for me, but I can tell you that I've become a bit better trader in a sense of recognizing things, and the information wise and going into a trade is. So I'm a lot smarter with it. The results is, the results are the results, but the process is better for me. So yeah, it works for me.
I agree with you on that. And then James joined in on the call. What's up, James? How you feeling, man? Happy New Year.
What's going on, James? Happy New Year.
So we're over here.
Yeah. Happy New Year, guys. I didn't know I was muted.
Right. Happy New Year. Bless up.
So, we were just discussing how there are little nuances in the market that not everyone is very, well versed about. So the very first thing is brokerage accounts, right? We all have different brokerage accounts, whether we're dealing with cryptos or if we're dealing with equities, whatever the case may be. We all have different experiences with our brokerage accounts too. So I use Thinkorswim mainly from TD Ameritrade just because the platform is free. But I'm sure that the two of you definitely have experiences with other platforms. Do you want to share what type of platforms that you've been using?
Listen, Thinkorswim is it for me. I mean, I got E-Trade, I got fucking Robinhood, and I got Coinbase. You know what I'm saying? I got Coinbase too. I got Webull. I got it, and there's money in those accounts. Trust me. But besides that, Coinbase is really for the crypto. I don't trust Robinhood with crypto, to be honest with you. I actually have a nano ledger for my crypto, so so I could carry it around with me if need be. So besides that, I just now, because of you, in this platform, more than ever, I just use those other platforms as just an execution thing. But besides that, if it's not Thinkorswim, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So that's just me for now, unless somebody put me on better game.
I'm in various phases, but I use TD as well, but I use that mostly on my longer term investments, and then I did get wild with Robinhood, and I understand it's not a great platform, but it's the ease of it. I could sit on my couch and press. I could do it anywhere, and I have done it anywhere in the world. So it's like the TD, the one for the phone, doing it on the phone with TD was always kind of a nuisance. Too many preventative measures like entering my password, which I understand you should be doing to do a transaction. I just wanted the speed, and I'm a little reckless, but that's why I like the Robinhood, because I'm also the one thing that I will say, and I use Coinbase Pro, and I also use Binance for crypto. But I am thinking about trading the Webull, but I also do trade crypto on Robinhood because it's not really crypto. You're just trading stocks basically.
Facts.
And I feel when I do the trading, like with Robinhood, they give me leverage, and I take the margin and I put it all in, and I watch it grow, and that's can't be done on the other platforms. I mean, you can, there are margins, but Robinhood gives a great margin. It's like 2.5% now.
Yeah.
And my day trading limit is ridiculous. Like it's just, dangerous. But if you're, in tuned and you get involved, I feel the psychology of it a lot more on Robinhood, because I also feel like their stocks are behind the actual trades that are happening on real platforms. So there's even some advantage sometimes psychologically to look at what's happening on a real platform, compare it here, understanding more about where it's really going, because the Robinhood is not necessarily following exactly what's happening at the market. They're behind,
right,
because of the way they do things. So you're actually telling the future in many ways, because the other platforms are on point. So in a lot of ways, I look at it in this perspective.
So that Robinhood is a little lagging. That's what you're saying, and then it gives you a chance, if you were looking at a traditional platform, to really put in a better price on the Robinhood platform versus your E-Trade, Charles Schwab.
That's right. It gets a little bit. Yeah, you have this lag, which also tells the future, because those guys are also making attraction in the market, and they're reacting, and then there's this, there's a back and forth of those two engines in the trading world. So they're working together, and I kind of like to know both in terms of how to execute. Depends on the investment and if I'm using margins or not. Like Robinhood becomes my margin tool.
And I'm totally with you on the flexibility that Robinhood has, because you can, easily make a transaction, which could be a, good side or a bad side depending on the person, right? But your investment type, so it's easy for you to understand, what tools readily should be used for yourself. A lot of people who are just starting, or probably been going for a long time, never really identified what their trading strategy or trading personality is. And
right.
That's one of the very first things that, as an investor, you open up a brokerage account. That's probably one of the first things you really want to identify, what type of investor you are.
Totally. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you do need to know. Like I have people ask me oh, well, how do I do this? Well, what do you want to do? Like, is it you looking at 10 years from now? Or are you looking at tomorrow? And I think the Robinhood allowed me to think about tomorrow and not about 10 years from now, which I wasn't able to do when I had to pay for the fees. And I know the fees have been lifted all over, but
yes,
that was a very different button that went off. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, now I could do whatever I want, whenever I want. And I don't have to worry about paying for my mistakes, at least in fees.
Yeah, because I think that's probably the biggest thing is the fees was a barrier beforehand.
Yeah.
Because now you're just like, oh, okay, I can trade all willy-nilly. It makes it a lot easier.
And then they also have, I don't know do you have fractional trading?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's a new thing too. And that's really changed the game as well for people.
That one I definitely use on my Robinhood account. That's only if I'm really doing it for the cryptos. With Bitcoin, that's exactly what I did when I put in money. I was just like, I just need some fractions.
But you could do that on any platform for you always with crypto, you've been able to buy any amount. It didn't have to be whole.
Right.
Yeah, like if you use Coinbase or whatever you're using, you put $15, go ahead, no problem.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. I think like I tried it before with Bitcoin, and I wish I put more in on Ethereum. And
Yeah.
I can't believe I just allowed Ethereum
Yeah.
to like get out of my fingers, because I had a coin in there, like a full coin, 500, and then I took it out when it got to 6, and I was like, oh, okay, keep playing with this. Now it's at 9, and I'm like, oh, okay, great.
Yeah. Ethereum is. Do you know about stable coins?
Staple? No.
Stable coins. There's like U.S. Tether. I think Coinbase has one. There's like these fiat based coins, but this is why
There's
Ethereum.
hella coins.
Oh, there's hella coins, but the thing.
There's hella coins in Coinbase.
There's hella coins, but when you go into the other markets, even more. But
yeah,
around the world, they're using. Like in Venezuela, their peso went down 75% this year. And with the economy, when your currency is going to be obliterated and you have no idea of your own, like imagine that's how you live with a currency that's up, down, left, and right. You want to have something stable. And they made these stable coins, DIA being the one for Latin America, which has, it's a big and growing investment-based coin that earns a small percentage to keep it in there. Or you could use that to buy your Ethereum or whatever. But all of these stable coins run on Ethereum. So as all the currencies around the planet start getting unstable, there's going to need to be something easy to access that you can't be blocked. Like when you try to buy more than $200 of dollars in Argentina, you'll be, you have a limit of what you can use your money for. And as currencies go down, like you gotta have something stable, and that's what these coins are.
So I would imagine it's like a pocket of these coins that are there for every government, not every government, but at least the governments that have less monetary value behind their dollar, that these coins are there just as like a buffer, just to really keep the citizens.
They are, well, they're become, so like a lot of people store their, in a lot of countries, people store their money in dollars, $100 bills, and you keep them as an investment. But with these, it's more like businesses are the ones who are funding this because they want to be paid in something that crosses borders without any taxes, regulations, and so on. Okay, our regulations will come, but they want to be able to transfer their money easily and get exchanges or hold it in something that's not, worthless. So it's an interesting part, like with Ethereum. And right now, both Bitcoin and Ethereum are like, there's not much more to buy of it. Like it's mostly being held.
Right.
So it's it's hard to know how the hell what'll happen next.
I feel like there's going to be a fork in the road, and then there might be some splitting of coins eventually. I was not anticipating it cross 30,000. I thought it was going to hit a wall, pull back to like 25,000. Reaching back up, and it would just settle at 27, 28,000. It kept on going higher.
Yeah, once it hit 21 to 24, it was in the zone. Like, okay, yeah, let's keep going. And now, like the 40 to 50s next, which goes to 100. And it's built to function this way. That's the whole basic math behind it. Is allow only certain amounts of coins be generated over a particular time, let it build its scarcity, and then release more in, but it gets cut off.
So maybe 50,000 it stops and then pulls back. Maybe
there's supposed to be a pullback somewhere, but at these points, if it's already in this zone, it's either it's gonna be lose 20%, lose 20%, and it'll follow through, and you'll start gauging after 30% at the peak. where it's going from there. But you know, like
I like
time will
that
tell.
because I think that this will also have an effect on some of the stocks that are trading on the Nasdaq. Something like MARA, which another person who was actually in that trade, who was trying to get in on this call, he was going to share his experience about being in an MARA, because when we talked last week, that was the next play for Monday, and it went up. It spiked on Monday before coming back down. But that between MARA and RIOT, Riot, and I feel like there was another one. Those were like the main cryptos of last week that were moving. So now that cryptocurrency has gone higher over the weekend, including the Dow futures pushing their 200, meaning that we're going to have a higher open when it comes to the Dow and probably break out to more level highs. That I don't see um, how the stock market would not find some type of way of pulling back. Like I can only see this going higher and higher.
Yeah, people got a lot of extra money. The ones who do. The ones who don't. But people are gonna have some extra money in their pocket, and they know to put it somewhere. They bought enough toilet paper or whatever they did. They're
I
ready.
think that's what it is. It's the toilet paper. So like I know that the cryptos have wanted to talk about energy and technology because obviously now that we're about to kick out this president and start installing a new president, um, we will see that energy will more than likely help move. Well, energy and technology will more than likely help move this this economy along, right? With new jobs being able to be created, it will definitely give an opportunity where we'll be able to see some type of movement on the upside. So when I was referring to MARA, James, I know you're familiar with it, but I still like to show the actual chart itself. Um, we were talking about this. This was last week, uh, 28th, right? So from the 24th to the 28th, we knew that it was going to come and retest this high right here. But even though it did come and retest the high, it pulled back heavily. And, this is what crypto kind of did during the week, where it was just holding that 28, 27 or 26,000 price point and just held. And this is where it was on Friday. And then we'll see how MARA and Riot reacts. Um, Even though Riot is way overbought, but we know that even though it's overbought, it still has room to go higher. Um, but he's having an issue trying to log in. Did you have any issues trying to get in on the call at all? Like typing in the password or anything?
Just make sure it's lowercase.
Yeah, let me try one. Because you put in the password as pair, right?
Yeah, lowercase though.
Yeah. So, but as far as other cryptocurrency um, related stocks that I know of, and please, if you know any, jump on in and let me know. But DPW was one that was like highly shorted. It's a low float at 18 million shares. But we see that it can do these spikes, and when it spikes up, then pretty much it's going to come back down. So I think this is more like when we see charts like this with its hanging candlestick, red candlestick, that's when the market opened and the stock was already high during the pre-market or after hours. And once the market opened, the stock got shorted, essentially, for being up too high. So not Mara, DPW is having that same type of function where it kind of bases around its support. And as we could tell by this is a TTM squeeze, James. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but essentially what happens is that when we have the histogram bars change from one color, which is red to yellow, that means that there's a change in direction of momentum, and it's going from selling pressure to some sort of buying pressure, where the histograms would eventually turn to blue. Well, sometimes it will turn to dark blue and then turn to cyan, and then show that there's some more upside. Um, on here, we said the last time it spiked was when the histogram was a cyan color with green dots underneath it, right? It hasn't happened yet. It hasn't switched over yet. So I'm not saying it will definitely do something during the week, but as flat as it has been forever, this is one that typically will get some type of move just because of cryptocurrency news. There's cryptocurrency news there, then it will get some type of spike. And we're always looking for these spikes in the pre-market. So if this happens during the pre-market, maybe you look and see that it's up, and you can get in during the pre-market. But once the market opens, start looking for like a short. So I know, Nick, you've been looking at trying to figure out how to short some stocks. This might be one to look at and see if it does get shorted pretty heavy.
Right.
You can buy some puts in this one as well.
Nice. I'm writing the notes now. Thank you. Yeah, I see it. That pre-market is big. That pre-market is big. There's one thing I learned these past couple of weeks. That pre-market is everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what I have for as far as a low price stock, other than Mara and Riot. I have some more low price stocks, but the ones that really have, I think, a bigger stronghold on the cryptocurrency places are like the banks, and banks like JP Morgan. JP Morgan's always trying to find, I feel like they're always ahead of the class when it comes to financial services. And I've been looking for a bank to invest in for a long time. And I feel that with dividends coming out in about 2 weeks or so, that JP Morgan will have a unfair advantage over the other banks just because that they already invested their money into cryptocurrency. Even if you look at, I've been using the underlining price of the options, underlining price of the stock, which are the option prices, to kind of get a sense of where the possible direction of the stock could go. And as we can see here on JP Morgan, it's testing really its previous resistance. So like here, when it was in this like U-shaped type of form, it was testing that resistance before coming back up, before making a break. And then once it broke, kind of went overbought, it pulled back, and then it's kind of traded sideways until it tested the 20 SMA. And it's kind of doing the same thing all over again here that it did back here, where it will test its resistance and maybe possibly break out. So we see that, I said 2 weeks, that it's actually on in 2 days. I said 2 weeks back. So like they're giving out dividends, and I know that typically if you get in on a stock a day or two before the dividend is released, you will get dividends on the actual company that you purchase share on. I don't know how it works when it comes to options. That is something that I will have to look at. But when I look at this chart and I think of anyone who is going to do anything in the financial world dealing with crypto, I will always start to lean on, JP Morgan or Jamie Dimon. Like I feel like they're really good. Also, there's PayPal, because PayPal is definitely a part of it, part of the crypto craze. Does anyone have anything to say about JP Morgan or PayPal?
No.
I mean, PayPal was a big move. JP Morgan, they've always been very anti-crypto, but behind the scenes, yeah, I think they're highly involved. The market cap of crypto is so small that it's not necessarily to the advantage of a lot of these companies to like buy giant amounts of it.
Right.
So
to buy giant amounts of crypto?
It's not worth it for them necessarily, just because they don't want to take all the risk. Like if someone wanted to buy it up, for example, it would be advantageous.
So like I know that there are, and I know these companies are a little bit bigger in price, obviously as well. So this is something that I am more thinking on the long term, not on.
I have GBTC, which is basically a Bitcoin fund.
Right.
I've had that for a while, like when it first came out. Yeah, down there. It's. I haven't looked. I haven't really. I just hold it, and it follows basically the Bitcoin path. But they just bought it. I think another $20 billion worth of Bitcoin. So like they're a big buyer in this space.
And I agree because I was reading an article that came out back in early December, and the price of, and this is the OTC stock, just to be, with clarity, because OTCs kind of run different than the actual stocks that are on the market. But this, like you said, runs exactly the way how Bitcoin runs, exactly the same pattern, everything. Like it just keeps on going because it's more like an ETF at the end of the day. And at the time of that article that was written, the price was at $26. Now it's at $32, and that was roughly like just beginning of December.
Yeah.
So crypto has definitely been moving.
Yeah.
Nick, when you're looking at cryptocurrencies altogether, maybe you can add GBTC as like kind of like an index.
Exactly. That's exactly what they represent.
Okay. Dope.
Yeah. Accenture is an important tech company behind all of this stuff. I mean, they work with all of them, and they're part of the Ethereum Alliance. But they do all the technology when it comes to the IDs and everything that's gonna. But they do a lot of IDs, security, vaccine tracking through crypto. Like, I mean, we haven't exploited the use of blockchain and track tracing and all that. This is one of the main companies behind like all that shit.
Wow.
What was it called? Azure?
Etc.
Yeah,
Central.
ACCE. I think
ETRA.
Yeah. ECN, I think, is their stock.
Okay. ACN.
They're a very interesting company. High level shit from corporate to government around the globe.
When you said AC, I'm sorry.
ACN, like Nancy.
ACN. Okay.
I mean, that's the stock.
Oh, that's right. I'm bugging.
ACCENTURE is the company. Accenture.
Yes, I vaguely remember them.
I've talked to you about it a little bit in the past, but they're a big company.
Yeah, I see. They do pretty damn well with 634 million shares. But their market cap is 170 billion. So that's nice size. So this would definitely be something to look at or keep my eyes open on because they're doing a lot in the crypto space, correct?
Yes, they do a lot in it, and they do a lot of they promote it. They're developing like the central base, was it central bank digital dollar, and they're doing a one in whatever, they're doing a lot of every nation's currency, the world trade dollars.
It seems like they have a long reach out of Dublin, Ireland too.
Yeah, there's a big tax haven over there.
Like communications, media, high tech, software, and platform companies.
Yes, they are a monster, like involved in tech and organization, managing of everything.
Even with Alibaba, Amazon Web Services, Blue Yonder, and Cisco, like Dell, Google, they are like definitely in there.
Oh yeah, they're in there.
Definitely. I like it. You know, and I always look at like what the insiders have done, like the main selling up until this point. But the stock price, their performance has been going up. Like
They're slow, but it's an investment. It's not
Right.
like some sexy stock. It just keeps moving up and gives dividends.
which is also good. We love dividends. Dividends are
But yeah, 506,000 employees. That's more than Apple.
506,000. Huge. That's a lot going on.
A lot going on, yeah.
So I know that we talked about crypto for a little bit, but are there any altcoins that James that you probably want to let us know about to look up? I saw a lot on who was it?
Yeah.
Dogcoin was doing pretty
Doggy coin, yeah, DOGE. Like that one is a joke, and
Yeah.
but it has a lot of money, and people, I think, when things go crazy, people are let me just take a little bit out and throw it in here, because if anyone talks about like Musk is regarded as their president or CEO, and I have a basic understanding that crypto in many ways is Elon Musk's enemy or competitor. They are both this very unknown entity, speculative nature. The consumer retail who buys crypto or Bitcoin or Tesla is the young the young millennials. Like they're fiends. They all hold it like it's the future.
Right.
And the amount of money being played, they're in a similar ground. So,
What you saying?
Yeah.
but
See,
all the
Dogecoin, I
other
see you.
ones, I don't know. I play around with Bitcoin Cash. I would never hold it long,
Me too.
but
Me too. BTC, right?
BTC,
yeah.
no, BCH.
BCH, yeah. I saw it in Coinbase for the first time. I was like, there's a Bitcoin and a Bitcoin Cash.
Yeah, when I had Bitcoin, it turned into Bitcoin Cash.
Right.
And
Okay.
it went up crazy. I got rid of it. And now, like, I understand, okay, well, it'll go back and forth like everyone else. But,
Right.
all these other things, you can do it, but you really have to follow the whole, it's a lot of chatter. So it's hard the altcoins are kind of irrelevant unless you talk about, like, they have, like, these stable coins where you can just put your money in and get a small percentage on it.
Mm.
Yeah, which the stable coins are definitely more longer term vehicle than some of the like altcoins. Other than Dogcoin, I remember there being another one.
There's XRP, which
XRP, Ripple.
So
yes.
XRP is a corporate entity, centralized system that they could print as many coins as they want whenever they want. It doesn't seem to have really caught on. What's that?
You can get them back on Cash App
They cash them out.
if you
Oh,
have
sorry,
like.
this is Tanisha. She just joined in. She just joined in on the call. Hi, Tanisha.
Yeah.
Hey, cuz.
That's good. So go ahead and say what you were saying to James again now.
Oh, that was to my friend who's listening as well. Sorry, I didn't realize I was being able to be heard.
No, you're okay. You're not on mute, but other than that, it's still good to present that question because that's what we're all here to do, is to learn.
Oh, I was just letting my friend know that if she had disposable income, that she could play around with getting some Bitcoin on Cash App.
Okay.
But I got introduced to crypto app. Do you guys use that?
Crypto app?
Mm-hmm.
No,
The
not
crypto app, no, but I know about Cash App.
Cash App.
Yeah.
I know about Cash App. Cash App offers it, but I didn't know about the other one.
Yeah, crypto app updates you like all the time. Like I've gotten mad updates today, and like it's showing like the movement of like Ethereum and like just all the different big ones,
Mm.
And, I don't know. I just got introduced to it. I'm very, very, very like wet behind the ears when it comes to all of this. So
Yeah, they have ATMs. Like my friend has an ATM business, and then they incorporating Bitcoins into it.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I mean, he has like 100 ATMs with crypto on it going into whatever check cashing place there is, and it doesn't require, a person, and you can buy your crypto straight. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
you can
At ATM, yeah, they have them. You can get your own.
It's in Nostrand Church. Go to Nostrand Church. It's right there.
Now I know there's an actual Bitcoin ATM. I'm in that store all the time.
Oh, nice.
Trying to get my roll up, but other than that, I see.
Listen, it's like it's the hood
Bitcoin
bank.
ATM
Crypto it's the hood bank.
Oh, so it's
the
like
hood bank. It's a black market.
Like, talk to me in other terms. I like that.
Yeah. That's what it is.
I can understand that.
Yeah, a lot of the young kids, a lot of young kids, 16 years old, 15 years old, whatever, they have the ATM Bitcoin card, and that's how they do transactions.
Nice.
Yeah.
They have the ATM Bitcoin.
That's actually been seen around past couple of years. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, you're right about that, bro. Yeah, y'all right.
Okay, so one last interjection, even though I'm late, I'm so sorry because I was.
Are you okay? No, you're fine.
But I was on. I was about to like pull up a meditation video or something, and I got lobbed to this investment insider.
Yeah.
And basically, he was talking about. He called it Genesis at first.
Oh yeah, Gemini.
Are y'all familiar with that?
No, Gemini.
No.
But then he basically was saying like blockchain is like the biggest investment, and he was saying like he would tell the biggest three. He has like a workbook or something that tells the biggest three that needs to be invested in, and also like the companies that are getting ready to come out with Bitcoin debit cards or whatever. Had y'all heard anything about that?
No, I could kind of see that.
I haven't.
With,
I can see that, but I haven't.
JP Morgan, Chase, like all these big banks that are now finally jumping into the Bitcoin craze. I could see that they would have some type of card. If the WWE has a banking card, I'm pretty sure cryptocurrency will. But I could see it. But I don't know which one has it.
They'll all get it.
Facts.
I mean, all banks will. And why wouldn't you have it if it's going to be something people want at this point?
Right. Like,
and that means that all those places need to buy, Bitcoin so that they can sell.
So,
So they'll buy it and then they can release them and be the mediator behind all the transactions. And they'll get a piece of the pie.
Any other altcoins? Because, so we touched about Genesis. We talked about Dogcoin, Ripple. Is there any other altcoins that?
Get rid of your Ripple. That's all I got to say.
You said what happened?
Get rid of the Ripple if you have any.
Yeah, that litigation doesn't look too.
Not good. They're. I think Coinbase is also getting litigated.
Of course.
Well, they always are.
I hate Coinbase.
Yeah, they're terrible.
I hate Coinbase.
You know Gemini? Gemini is the Winklevosses, and you can.
The twins.
Yeah, they have a big exchange, and it's it's a little bit more. It's more like Coinbase Pro, and but you're not dealing with Coinbase.
Yeah, Coinbase is trash.
But there's an exchange that you finance, but I think that they've now been freezing account that like they don't want U.S. people using it. They made a U.S. version, but it's an exchange platform, and I need to make a switch one of these days. You get access through a VPN, so it doesn't matter,
They
but
do it. They trying to trade it like forex, low key, with that.
I'm in, guys.
yeah, they do all types of things,
Yeah,
and that's a good platform at least to see what's going on.
facts.
I know we touched up on Bitcoin, which was something I really wanted to get touched on, so we can look at it
Yeah.
for the week. So let's kind of switch gears to some of the energy and technology plays for the
Before you switch,
really doing some rather good movements.
before you switch, guys, what are you looking on there? I
Hey,
just
Fitz, Fitz finally made it on.
Yo,
yeah.
Fitz, what's goody? Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
Yeah.
So
What
now
what
we're kind of switching gears to some of the energy
what
stocks.
what's the symbol you were looking at a while ago?
Oh, this one is a Bitcoin. It's like an ETF. It's
Okay.
grayscale. It's a
Okay.
GBTC.
Can
Yeah.
a quick question? Did y'all touch on Ethereum?
Yeah, we talked about Ethereum, but not in great
Yeah.
depth.
What do y'all think about Ethereum?
Man, it was too late.
It's never,
Yeah, man, you're
That's what
gonna
he
have to
said
watch the
earlier.
repeat. James gave a nice overall depiction of that
Amazing.
being a great vehicle to invest in and probably not to ever take your money out of. But when it comes to cryptocurrencies, you know, Bitcoin and Ethereum are, James, correct me if I'm wrong,
yeah.
the top two vehicles to invest in, and anything else is really pretty much irrelevant almost.
They're all, yeah, you have Bitcoin, but Ethereum is definitely a big deal for everything moving forward in the next level of the web, which is all payment based and verifying everything. Ethereum is going to be the link to it. It's not the best technology, but it is the first one to the table that can do what it does, like sell a house on it or have 10 houses and sell them all at once. So it's going to grow the value, but it hasn't reached its ultimate high. So I would be careful of buying it.
I know.
Right now,
I remember it was at 250.
When it crashed, I bought it. I think when it happened in March, this Corona, I think I got it under 100.
Yeah.
See, look at that. I saw it at 252. I remember it at 252, bro.
I mean, I've had this one for a long time. It is a winner. I started at 150, and it just kept going and going, and then it went a little crazy. The craziness, you don't know. Right now, it's in the crazy moment, so I would be weary of any real. Hard to say what the hell is happening next. This month is probably going up, and then it's hard to say what next month is.
Yeah. I think that's the toughest part, and I think that towards the end we should probably all give a prediction of what 2021 will bring, and see, right? Because we don't really know, right? We can only guesstimate, right, or make a speculation of where it can actually go. But
I did a tarot card on it.
oh, what'd you get?
It was like the one, like hooray, like the village. Everyone was very pleased and blessed.
I like that.
That was the one I picked
that.
for it. So that's my my take.
Tanisha's into tarot cards as well. So like when it comes to spiritualness, she taps into that. But yeah, so moving along away from cryptos, another entity that should move up higher are all the energy stocks. So, currently I'm holding on to GP Green Power. I'm not sure if anyone remembers this one, but they are based out of New York City essentially, and they are giving out like electric vehicles, like passenger vans that are fueled by green energy. So this one I've been, I was hesitant at first when it first was right around here because I was still trying out the TTM Squeeze, but the TTM, as James when I mentioned it before on Mara, And Fitz, we want to still get your take on Mara, how it treated you last week. Like, see, it squeezed up, just like
that, that was all
James,
right. That was all right.
highlight, James. This is what Fitz gave us this technical, and it has proven to be very, very trustworthy, right? So we see that we have this cyan color and a green dot right underneath it, signifying that on the last trading day, which was Thursday, it was having some buyers come in. I'm anticipating that as I'm holding it, and I'm up on the position. I've been holding it for a couple of days now. That it retests this all-time high of $32. Right now, it's pushing $30. It's at 29.11, but I do feel like it has some opportunity on the upside. So this is green power. Each candlestick represents one day, and when I go into the hour chart, um, I still see it like kind of consolidating down here. So I'm not 100% sure if it's going to try to test the $27 area. If it does test the $27, then I would anticipate myself already being out because it went below $28, which that's the downside that I'm willing to risk. It's the dollar downside for a roughly $4.50 upside on the stock price. But that's GP. I have a couple of other energy stocks that I feel that will
What's the
move
time?
in the car space, like NEO and NIU. But what else does anyone have any stocks in the energy space that they want to mention?
I think I got I did GP early in the week. Remember that? And I held it. I was down, and then when it ended on that green candle, I got out. I got in like at $1.10. I got in too high, and I got out at $1.30. When it ended on that green candlestick at towards the end of the close, and it shot up. And when it shot back up, that's when I got out. But besides that, I have only like gone, and yeah. I mean, I have no energy stocks really. Not yet.
So you got out on this
That
green
right there.
candlestick or
Yep.
the
No, the last right before the close, that green hard candlestick right
this
there.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right before the close, I was out. I had a price limit. I had a profit limit. So once it hit that, I was already out automatically, and then it kind of settled down and pulled back a little. I was out. I'll be honest with you, the whole week it didn't really do much. I remember you having problems with it. Me and you were holding it. We were like,
Yeah,
oh,
I was in it
I
like
was even like, I was like, damn, I probably got it too high. Da 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 da. And it kind of just consolidated. It dropped, and even towards the day, it didn't really do much towards the end of the day, like around 350.
it has been doing it's been doing pretty well. It's been pretty steady. The only issue that I had was that when it did this whole engulfing candlestick, bullish engulfing, I thought it was going to gap up, and it never gapped up. It kind of just hit this resistance here. That's why I'm kind of skeptical on what it could do on Monday. But I've been following my technicals and then just allowing those to move it, especially because it is in the energy sector. Um, now, do I have a hard stop at $28? Yeah, maybe 28.50 because I don't want it to test $27. So I'm still up. I have a good position. I'm up roughly $200 on the position, but still at the same time, I want the technicals to move. That's probably the difficulty that you're probably thinking of that I had with it.
Yeah, I told you I got in too high. When you got in a better price point. I know I got in too high. But my contract was for to like next week, so I wasn't even tripping. I was just holding it. But for me, I know because I got in too high, it pulled back, and then it was testing 28. And then you were saying, I hope it doesn't go below 28 to 27 because I don't think it's not going to hold. So I know we had that conversation for a day or two because it was doing that. I remember it just really just not really doing anything in my position. And then towards the end, when it hit that green candlestick, I remember writing in the group, yo, GP finally went off. And then I was already out. I made my money back and I made a little change in the account and I was it. So yeah, I just remember that being the play for GP. Because it wasn't like that for a couple of days. Like I remember for at least for 2 days, we're like, man, yeah, it went up, but what is it doing?
Right.
It wasn't really, it had resistance. It wasn't breaking through resistance. I remember that, you know.
Yeah, because I remember when last week Fitz and I we we weren't at odds with it, but I was more hesitant. Where he was like, "You should buy it because it's going up," and I
Going
waited.
up. Yeah, I remember he said
Yeah,
that.
and I was like,
Yeah.
I looked at it, and I'm like, I think he's right, and then I
Yeah.
still like second guessed myself until like Tuesday when I got in.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful for Fitz for giving me that
Facts, Fitz.
encouragement.
I bought on the wrong hour. I bought on the wrong candlestick. Like I could have just bought on the pullback and been fine. That's all it was for me. I just bought too high. That's it. I thought it was gonna break. As I was like, oh, all right. And it hit resistance. And then after that, it was playing between, I don't know, 28, 29. It went a little bit lower than that and came back up. It was weird. I remember. But it did what it's supposed to do. It looks like it's going to, especially with the TTM squeeze.
Right.
If I follow the technicals.
If I follow the technicals, hopefully sometimes when it hits that resistance a little too hard, then it can still pull back. So that's the only
pull
thing,
back, yeah.
So like I would still keep a stop loss in just to make sure it doesn't fall too far back and I lose all my profits that I have.
Factor.
But that's the one energy play that I'm holding on to. What about is there anything else that
Duke, DUK,
what was
What
that?
was that? What was that?
DUK.
BUK.
No,
Book.
D as in Donald.
Duck?
Yeah,
Oh,
DUK.
duck. Okay.
Oh, Duke Energy.
Yep.
Yes. Oh, that
Oh,
looks
wow. That looks popping. How
sweet.
long you was in this for?
Me?
When did you get into Duke?
No, I just observe it
Oh.
as you guys talk about the energy.
Yeah.
But there's something I want to share with you guys that I discovered. I know I wasn't so much of a technical person, but I've been observing a lot since recently as I spoke to Jermaine. I noticed that whenever this stock itself cross the 9 period, it's the same time the MACD cross.
So
And
okay,
it always go up.
so just to bring people to speed, you said that you first mentioned the TTM squeeze.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the TTM squeeze that Fitz is referring to right now, where it's that zero line, and the histograms are coming towards the zero line. It's going from red to yellow, so that red means it's selling. The yellow means that the selling pressure is kind of slowing down before it comes to zero
Buyers
line
coming
and
in.
switches direction. Go ahead, Fitz. I'm sorry.
Yes. So I've been observing the chart and I realized that whenever the stock itself, it doesn't matter what time period, whether it's a daily, 4 hourly, whenever the stock itself cross the 9 period moving average, it goes up.
Oh, the moving
And
average, like the EMA, the 9 EMA.
the simple moving average,
Oh, simple moving
simple.
average. Yes.
Yes, as long as whenever the stock go over the 9 period, it's the same time the MACD cross.
Yeah. So you have moving averages. I know Nisha. She's not 100% familiar with moving averages. They're lagging indicators that give you an idea of what the price is on that last time period. So if the price is on the hour $9, but the moving average might say 8.50, that's the average over a considerable amount of time, whatever that time may be. This is referring to nine. So
The 9
nine days on the simple moving average is an equation. It will tell you, hey, in the past 9 days, the average price has been $8.50. So
all
that's
right.
what Fitz is kind of giving an introduction to.
All right. So just an example.
Tanisha,
Look,
you sound like you look like you were trying to say something, but I didn't hear a word.
Facts. I think you're
yeah,
muted.
Look.
I don't think I'm muted anymore, but I was saying so, but you can look at the candlestick to see what the average is, right? Even if you don't necessarily know the number.
No, the candlestick won't tell you the average. The candlestick
Yeah.
tells you the actual price action. So that's the candlestick shows you the actual price exchange between buyers and sellers on that time frame.
Okay.
So the average price is always, the average of those prices that was traded during that time frame, but it's lagging because you have to wait for that time frame to end, and
Oh,
then you get the average for that time frame.
got you.
All right.
So what you're talking about is your overall strategy for trading, not just not just I don't know how to articulate it. Not just when you're buying something initially.
Yeah,
Basically.
not just when you're buying something. It's because you have to, anytime you enter any position, you always have to have an enter strategy and an exit strategy,
Got you. That
right?
part I don't really have down part. I mean down well, the exit part. I kind of sort of know how to get in now, but like the getting out, I'm not really sure about.
But the indicators can give you an idea when the market has changed.
Yeah.
So,
The TTM squeeze is really helping out.
yeah.
Once you explain that to her and everyone, it's a great indicator with everything else.
All right.
Yeah.
Before you explain, as I was saying earlier on, if you notice the look on Duke, okay?
Yeah.
If you could put your
Right.
what is on Thinkorswim?
Yeah.
You can swim right now.
Yeah. All right. So go to the daily chart, the daily.
Mm-hmm.
One
Right.
daily stick represents one day on this chart right
Yeah.
now.
You notice
Mm-hmm.
if you look on the daily, the MACD is just about to cross.
Right.
Like here.
Right.
Right
And
there. Yeah.
look right on the. I have the 9 period SMA, 9 period SMA on the screen.
Okay.
No, I have the 5
Five.
EMA
Five. We have the
and the
5 EMA.
20 SMA.
Okay. Just take off the 5 for a minute and put the 9 on.
Okay.
You want the rest of it?
Just put the 9 period on and just kind of clear it up that you can
Oh
see.
no, that can be awesome.
Or change it to 9. Just change it to 9.
Yep. So this is
Okay,
it right here.
so let us work with the 9 for tonight. You guys can put on back the 5 when you finish, okay?
All right.
Okay.
All right. Look on the 9 period. Notice every time the stock cross and look at the MACD.
Mm.
Observe the MACD cross and the 9 period cross. And see if you notice whenever the stock make a big move, what happened right there. Not when it make just an ordinary move, when it make a big move.
Right. So as you're right. So like
At Duke,
at Duke, correct.
whenever
So
the
like,
stock
when
goes
you're
up
taking the chart in its totality, right? And you said that once the stock is trading above
above the
the
9
five
period,
moving average, right? I mean the
well,
nine moving average.
yeah,
Trading above the nine moving average,
it's
which
going up.
it always goes up.
Always,
That's
always,
typical.
and the MACD cross the same time. Whenever there's a big move.
So the MACD crossed back here, and this was back still like what December of last year, going into 2020, December 2019, going into 2020.
Right.
It was oversold at one point, but like Fitz said, it crossed on the MACD before continuing to cross and go up higher. So
Yeah.
this was what $87 before going to 103.
Right.
The crash happened, in March, and it's been just trading sideways. This red line is the 200 SMA. So anytime when it's trading below the 200 SMA, it's going to have difficulties trying to come back,
Yes.
cross over, as we
But
see
it's above.
1, 2, 3. This is the fourth time, and it finally crossed. What was
Right.
the news that happened here in October? Do you know?
Right. I I was kind of in and out. But I didn't buy I think I buy the option a few times, and then maybe a stock, maybe I just go in and buy a few. Like, I mean, it was about like 70 some I don't know. It was a little lower than that, but I was in and out of it with a little bit.
So back in September, it was September 30th, we came out with some news, which is always good. Like we like when stocks have news and can push the stock higher. So with Duke Energy, back in September, it said that Duke shares are trading higher. It reported that Next Era Energy has made an offer to take over the company.
Okay.
So there's a takeover that was happening during
Mhm.
that time, which pushed Duke Energy to go higher. Um, they have a target price at $100 that was listed back in October,
Mhm.
Okay.
and obviously, this environmental, social, and governance thing that a lot of energy companies are trying to clean up, like
Yeah,
Exxon Mobil. There's another company that is trying to catch up with all the clean energy. Um, so as we continue to look through Duke, I see
It-
that there's some insights on their PE ratio. I don't see anything about their earnings yet, which
but
happens in
if
November.
you notice, 11 month 24th day, Goldman Sachs adjust price target for Duke to 98.
So reduce. Morgan Stanley says 101.
Yeah.
Morgan Stanley, yeah, 101 from 98. Correct. Correct. So they did get a bump up in price, which is always good.
So it have a nice little move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it looked good on the chart. If you notice, it just crossing the 9 period and the daily. Just every time you go above the 9 period, it's just about to cross right there, and the MACD is just the MACD just about to cross right there.
So, Tanisha, just so you know, with the moving averages that Fitch is highlighting, this
Mm-hmm.
green line is the 9 moving average, right? 9 day moving average. And
Mm-hmm.
the way he's bringing to the table is that anytime the stock trades above this 9 moving average, 9 day
It go
moving
up.
average, it tends
It's
to go
going
higher,
up.
right? We don't know how many days higher.
Oh, you're breaking
So,
up.
so
You
I'm
said
breaking up.
the blue line is the moving average, and
No,
then
they're both moving averages, but the
okay.
green line is the 9 day moving average. The blue line is
Uh-huh.
the 20 day moving average. Um,
Oh.
so when Fitch is saying that anytime the stock, which on this day, which was Thursday, um, when it trades above this moving average, which is the
Uh-huh.
9 day moving average, the stock has historically gone higher, right? You can see it
Mm-hmm.
going past. It shows that it went higher and it continued to go higher until it couldn't go any higher anymore. And the only way that you can identify if it's coming down, like you were saying, Tanisha, you don't know when to sell,
When it
is
cross below.
when you see this MACD starting to cross. You
Cross.
see the MACD crosses here, it's starting to change direction. And then you get the confirmation with the moving average.
When it
Now,
cross
that
below the
goes
moving
back to
average.
saying that the moving averages are a lagging indicator. So when you see that price of the moving average and it's so far, like let's say the price here on November 11th was 983, and the moving average price was closer to 94 cents. I said 98, yeah, 98.50 to 94. So that's like a $4 difference, right? If you're in it from back here, and we see that it is overextending and it's not going overbought at any time on the RSI, you should probably start thinking about selling it because it already crossed on the MACD, showing that it wants to come down.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of moving parts
And the
Yeah,
further the,
I'm
with
starting
the
to see
market.
that.
the further away it goes on the MACD, if it cling to the MACD, it might be just a consolidation. But if it cross wide, the width between the the MACD lines, if this is a wide cross, it's gonna come down for a little bit.
You
But
mean
if
like where he has the thing
right,
right there?
if they
Yeah.
are close like that, sometimes it's just
Mhm.
consolidating. But if it want them separate, you know it's coming down a little more.
It's coming down more. Yeah.
Yeah, the closer it is, sometimes it will
Especially the
consolidate.
spacing too.
Right,
Yeah.
that space right there.
Right there.
If you
That's
go
when you
back,
know it's
if you go
coming
back a
down.
little, the last time if you go back on the MACD to the green,
You can see where it
go,
crossed.
go back. You see where it crossed? Go back to the MACD right there. Go back to your
Right
left.
there
No,
to
to
your
your
left.
left,
Yeah.
left, to your left. Go back to your left. Right, go right back a little more.
Over
Right
here.
there.
There you go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see the
Yeah.
wick
Right
between right
there.
there, and it's
Mhm.
above the zero line. That line where the green
See it
start is the
open up.
zero line. It's above the zero line right there.
You talking about the
See it right
zero
there,
line
that
from the
wick right
MACD
there,
right here?
and
Uh-huh.
and it's the
Further
same time.
confirmation,
It is
you
the
can use
same
the TTM
time.
Squeeze.
It is the
And
same
to
time the
show you
stock
that
cross above the 9 period, as I was saying. Whenever the stock cross above the 9 period, is the same time the MACD lines cross, and it man every time frame. So if you can identify that, I was trying to figure out if I could find a code that I could code that it give us some sort of signal to show me, you know, like something that's light up to show me whenever it happened. But that's what I noticed.
So, quick question. So, when the lines cross during in the MACD or in that area, and it goes up, that's okay. But when it crosses
Yes,
and see like a
down.
downtrend, then
Yeah,
it's
it
like,
crossed
okay, let me pull out
below,
before it goes too
the
far.
9. Yeah, and if the MACD will cross a little earlier, but also you can look at the squeeze at the bottom. Show her the squeeze at the bottom right there,
That's
right
what got
there. You
me
see
confused
all
a
of
little
that
bit
lineup.
too.
You see all of that lineup right there. Look, you see
Mm-hmm.
right there, and the
Mm-hmm.
volume and everything. Look at the long bar for the volume. Everything is in line right there.
Oh,
layer.
okay.
See
Volume.
it? See,
Oh
So you
see
don't
wow,
this
there's a
chart
lot
has
going on
layers.
here.
so you don't have to worry until when you see until you see the darker blue. You don't have to worry be concerned until the darker blue days begin to show. You see that darker blue date right here, right there.
Oh, so that's like a reflection of what's at the very top. Those are the
Yeah,
states
yeah. It's
in
time to
blue.
start to think of what you're gonna do. You're gonna jump. It's time to come out. If you notice a line, it begin to come below the 9 period again.
The 9 period. Okay, that's I keep hearing you
Yeah,
say that. What is that?
He was
sure.
referring to
There,
the
right
9
there.
period.
The
He's
line
saying
and
that there's a moving
the
average.
line, moving average. It's
Yeah.
Oh, the
This is the
line
new line.
period. I thought you said the 9 period. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
moving
the
average.
9
Yeah,
period is 9 days.
9 day
So,
moving average.
so
Okay.
over the moving, so the averages are calculated over a certain number of days.
all
So
right.
when he
So
said the 9 period,
go a
he's
little to
referring
the
to the
right.
moving average over 9 days.
Go a little
Got
to
you.
the
That
right.
line that correlates with the 9-day line. That's
Yes.
what I'm talking about.
Right.
That green
Right.
line.
All right, go a little bit to the right where you can see everything line up, just as though they cross over the stock coming below the 9 period, right there. So you go back
Right
right
there.
Actually
there.
crosses.
Oh, where it's going into the
Oh, and
red in the
everything,
So
back
when it
section.
yeah,
crossed,
and
that's when
everything
you
begin to
know it's
cross
gonna
back
go
right
down.
there.
Got it.
Word.
Look at that right there. So you
At
know
this
if you was in,
consolidation, boom,
if you was
boom,
in it,
it touched
if
the
you was in
20.
it, if you was in it, you come down, you come out right there and wait for another entry.
Yeah. Because it went under right here, as you could tell.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and then it went under, and it just slow grinding all the way down
yeah.
until like
Mhm.
towards the end, it looks like it's about to cross. What you were talking about, Chris, like about to shoot up.
Right. So the buyers came in right there with the yellow. All, on the moment the yellow is
Facts.
there now, all the buyers begin to come back in right there.
And you could tell from the TTM at the
Yeah,
bottom
and
as
the
well, the
squeeze is now
momentum
to,
is changing.
and look what happened right up by the it begin to cross right there now.
Right.
Right there. Cross right back above the 9.
Sorry, I'm putting it back to the hour, to the day. Sorry.
Any time period they put it on. If you put it on the day, the 4 hours, the same thing you're gonna see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Look at
this
that.
is
Look at that.
this is really good because the moving averages,
It's a good
especially
indicator.
when it's, you will tend to hear, Tanisha, like you will have people who use the 200 simple moving average. You have the 20 simple moving average, and
It's
I've
gonna
heard some people
happen.
use a 9
You see this?
moving average,
You
whether
see,
it's
this
simple.
is consolidation right here.
I think it doesn't
But
really.
you
I
see how
think
the
that part.
blue cross over that little yellow, and you see that little green building up?
Which
Oh,
part?
my bad.
Yeah, I
Oh,
see
my
it.
bad. Yeah, you see it, right? My fault.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah,
know
it
if you.
crossed
Talking about in the
right there
volume,
again.
right?
Yeah, there it is, right there by the vine. You see that? Yeah. Yeah, that's a good indication.
And it's over the 200 SMA.
Right,
Which
right.
always
Right.
So
helps.
yeah.
So any
So
moving
Like, I
average,
gotta study.
there. Huh?
I said I gotta study.
yes, it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's not just something that you can just pick up. And like it is something you can pick up, but you also have to do the reading and the background.
Yeah, this is a part of the trading plan. You know, you have the information, you check what is going on if there's any news, and you also see what the indicator is showing because the indicator cannot wrong.
That's
Even
why
when
you
the
said
news,
what you said, Lamar, when I sent you that guy on Twitter. You were like, nah.
Yeah, yeah. So so
Watch.
Tanisha, she my cousin, she sent me some guy on Twitter that was talking something about the stock market, but really had no clue what he was talking about whatsoever. Didn't mention anything about anything related to the stock market other than something about cocaine. And I was just like, okay, this makes absolutely no sense, and this is why people follow the wrong people and try to figure out why they lost. Um, but so
all
I
right,
like Duke Energy. So like, all right, Fitz, if you were to get a position on here, like, what would be your strategy? What would be your in and your out?
hold on. Let me check on the let me check on the other side. Let me see what happened here. Give me a minute. See,
And then James and Nick, if you have a stock that you want to go over, or that you have a particular eye on, we could probably look at it and figure out maybe what a strategy might be.
all right. So uh, the the resistance is 103.79. So that's the resistance right there. 103.79. The
So
RSI
the
is right now.
resistance.
I see
The
that.
RSI is at 48, 48.84, and it's just crossed above the 9 period, as we said earlier on. It just crossed above the 9 period.
Hmm.
The candle close above the 9 period, and it's about to cross about to cross the 50-day moving average. And the stochastic, the MACD is about to cross and the stochastic is turning up. So everybody point in one direction. RSI also turning up.
So where would you say that you would like,
Enter.
yeah, enter and exit?
If it's a green day, I would enter tomorrow. But the only thing about this week is a little funny because the election.
Right, the Atlanta election, correct. Okay.
Yeah, this election is a bit funny because they like divided government, and if they win those 2 seats in Georgia, they might use it as an opportunity to bring down the market a little bit because they figure that all these tax plan that Biden had in mind, which the Senate now could accomplish whatever they want to do. So it sometimes the sentiments is not so much the fundamental. Sometimes sentiments take over. So
Very true.
yeah. So but if it's a green day, I think the election is Wednesday, right?
It is. I know that a lot of the early ballots have been in, like,
Yeah. But the
but
voting date is Wednesday.
I think the fifth. It's either the fifth or the sixth. I think I want to say the
The
fifth because that's
sixth.
the
The
Tuesday.
sixth. The sixth.
It's the
Oh,
sixth.
The
that's
sixth.
Wednesday.
Yes, the
That's
Okay,
sixth.
Wednesday.
The
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
There it is.
Yeah, the
Okay.
sixth.
So if you get a green day tomorrow, enter in, and if you can come out by Tuesday, that's it. If
Yeah.
it worked good,
Wicked.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what you have to treat this, and then just stay in cash until you see what happens. But to be honest, this to be honest, this particular stock, it's an EMPH. Whatever happened in the major market doesn't really affect them so much. That's what I noticed about those two energy stock.
Mm. The
So
MPH.
yeah, EMP. It I used to buy it when it was 80 something. Now it's almost $200, 160
Wicked.
something.
Oh, that's some good movement.
You say EN?
PH.
EMPH.
Oh wow, I haven't heard them in a long
Wow.
time. Wow.
Factory.
Yeah, yeah. The N phase energy, and they're way
That's
overbought now. So
yeah, that's one
it's,
of them moving into the clean energy space too. Okay, look on that thing where it track the 9 period.
yeah, so like that's what I was saying before. Like all the stocks, they do that when you have a day that's shorter than
Yeah.
the 20 or the 200. Like,
Yeah.
so I use the 5, but it's very similar to the 9.
Yeah.
Anytime it's trading over that 5 or 9,
Yeah.
whatever smaller day that you have, that's smaller than the 20-day, if it's
Yeah.
trading above that, it's going to go higher. All you have to do
Yeah.
is just, like Fitz was honing in on before, is match up the MACD, the RSI, and
And the squeeze.
right. If you link those together, then you will start to see that it's going
A
to go higher
pattern.
until it starts to turn. Like here, you can see the histogram was coming down,
Yeah.
and it crossed here on the MACD. It was already overbought on the RSI, so that relative strength had to come back down. So that's what happened with the stock price. It did come back down.
Yeah.
Now it didn't come down a
Looks
lot,
good.
but whatever was said during their earnings kind of held them together as they continue to go up higher. So like you're absolutely right. It's, that
This is
that
the
9
day
moving
chart.
average.
Yeah. Daily.
Oh man, your daily. This is what Mano likes. This is engulfing candles and higher highs. If you was to set up a trend line, prior resistance at that red candle right there where Mano's at before then a little bit more, a little bit more. Right before it dropped, that strong red candle to your left, a little bit more, a little bit more,
Are you talking about
further
right
one.
there?
Yeah, that one, that, yeah. Even with that, and then if you was to set up the trend line, engulf that, did that, came back again, and look what it did at 189.41. Yeah,
Look where
those,
the MACD crossover
yeah,
right there. You see what I'm
mm,
saying? You see?
yeah. That's in, yeah, those are looks like the higher highs and engulfing candles that we be looking for on
Yeah.
the daily. Yeah,
It was
right.
consolidating right up to 129, but as soon as the MACD
Mm-hmm.
cross, as soon as it come right up on the MACD crossover and the squeeze, hit the squeeze right there.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah, you see the squeeze right there, just shoot right up. You see it? Right as it
Mm-hmm.
cross the 9 period right there.
From here,
Straight up.
here, here, the squeeze going up to this. The
Yeah.
squeeze going up until it comes to this darker blue histogram. Um,
If you come a little to your right, if you come to a little to your right there, come a little to your right to the last squeeze, where the last squeeze is right.
just say that again. The
Come to
last
your right a
squeeze.
little bit, right there. Look at right there, and then MACD. You see where MACD cross right there?
Yep.
Look, and they go right above the 9 right there on the squeeze. Boom.
Even here, we look at it, we see that there's a technical breakout there.
Yeah.
There's this resistance here.
And they consolidate after they come down right there, consolidate right there. See, but it's still squeezing. See? And boom, right up there.
So we like these. These are, great indicator. So let's
Yeah.
go over another one. Yannick, do you have one, or James, do you have one?
Um,
In
I,
energy
I'll
or
definitely
technology?
want.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, energy or technology.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Energy, nah. But let me know when y'all want to look at uh Fly or TTCF.
What was that?
RBG.
TTCF. That's the only one I was really.
TCF. Oh,
That's a SPAC.
this is a
Yeah.
SPAC. I remember this one. I was in this one. It's a
Yep.
good one.
TTCF. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm down in this right now.
So
TTC. Oh,
I am
oh,
slightly
Well,
worried.
not me personally. Right. Yeah. I got into a bad spot.
Yeah. So you're in this one right now.
Well, in Rise account, yeah, she's in this
Right.
right now.
So we see that
Me personally, I mean, I'm not in any. The only thing I was really doing was IPOC and play and gone. That was me and Utz. But she's in the TTCF, so I definitely want to look at that.
all right. So IPOC, which is another SPAC. I forgot the Indian fellow's name. Chamia Hapatia. I I need to practice pronouncing names sometimes.
Mm.
But yeah, this is definitely like one of those stocks that I could see always going higher. But because I don't know a whole lot of background on that, I can't really talk about that. But
Right.
about his chart. TTCF, we can talk about his chart because that's the first one that you mentioned.
Yes,
And
sir.
and I know you noticed that it has some these this resistance areas here.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
So
The resistance.
you're at resistance.
I mean, I'm a little bit lower. I'm down. Let me see. Let me look. Down 30. Let me see where she got in. I know we're down $33 right now on that. Got in on not in the wrong spot. Let me see. It was a $30 call. The average cost it was it's 55 cents that I got in on. It's currently at 33 cents.
Ah, okay. Oh, so you bought the $30 calls? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah. She
33.
wanted to get into that one. Yeah.
So
It was
$33 calls that expire in like 3 weeks.
the 15th.
15th. So like, all right. So what I tend to do, and this is what I was saying when it comes to a lot of these, the underlying price, it's easier for me to look at what the options chart says and
The
how it's
option movement and the regular movement is crazy with these SPACs sometimes. Let me just say
yeah.
that real quick. Shit don't
Well,
be
yeah,
sorry. Yeah,
the options chart is gonna look different. Well, it's gonna
yeah,
be it's gonna be crazy looking. But like if we look at the options chart, it's holding this 33 cent area on the contract that you're referring to. The low is 15 cents, right?
right.
I'm looking at like the MACD. The MACD is starting to cross down. The RSI is kind of crossing down. You can look on the hour chart and see if there's any real signs. The two is it's trading below the 200 SMA, but there was a cross on the MACD. Let me get uh, let me get the TTM Squeeze up. Down there. There we go. So you see the squeeze. There's some consolidating,
Yeah,
which so there's a possibility that it could hold this whole 30 cent area before coming back to its theoretical price of 45 cents. Now, the theoretical price is what people believe that it's worth, right? That like,
right.
oh, okay, we believe it's worth around this price. But if people are not, there's not enough volume. Let's see what the volume is like.
The volume right now, when she was in it, let me see
It's
how
at
that contract was
790
looking.
right now, but the open interest is 8,700. So
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, so like no, that's not a terrible bad thing. You know that you have
It's
passive investors.
okay, but it's not something. Again, the buying was wrong, and to Fitz's point, I remember him saying it's always better to have the volume better than the open interest.
Correct,
Yes,
correct,
yes.
Yeah,
That's
correct.
when you know there's a
so for me, yeah, so for me, like those mental notes when something like this happens, or I get faked out, or I get into something, it's not till after I'm like, holy, yeah, man. Remember, these are the little. I moved too fast with this trade, so right now I'm just trying to see what it does going into the week. I have
what,
it.
what's
I
the
made money in
symbol?
it before.
What's the
Do you
symbol?
do you have a strategy or your exit strategy on
My
what?
exit, my exit strategy was honestly, I wanted to get out. I'll tell you right now. I have it in my, let me look at my notes. Because I go by, I know the option chart is crazy, but I usually go by, let me see, let me go this way. What did it close at? 23.16? Yeah, like I was hoping that I wanted to get out somewhere around 24, to be real. I didn't even think to, I was honestly trying to, I hoped that it was going to hold. I was like, all right, well, you know what? It opened at 24. Yeah, it's trading a little bit below, but I should catch it. I'm hoping it should break. And once it hit that high, it made some profit and it pulled back. So I know it had a low of 22. I'm hoping it doesn't touch the low, but I have the contract to the 15th. I was hoping to get out somewhere around the 24 above 45 area, above the high. I was hoping for.
So you were hoping
I wasn't.
that you were able to.
Yeah,
So you were probably
yeah,
back over here.
yeah. I was trying to
Right?
get. Yeah.
This
And
was the
once,
21st though. So this was the 21st of December. Um, when it did hit, when it did trade sideways, because it was no longer able to test its resistance,
the tester, yeah.
they started to trade below the 9-day moving average.
I was hoping to get to 25 too, but I mean, again, I did that trade too fast. I'm just explaining to y'all like I hastily got into that trade in the wrong position
Yeah.
where I could have
It
just
happened
waited.
to
You
it
feel
happened
me?
to all of us.
Yeah. So I just had to share it. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
Trigger
learn from
happy.
my mistakes. Yeah. Learn from my mistakes.
So getting in
Yeah.
near resistance is never the
Bro,
best
never,
idea, right? You
never.
want it to
Listen,
break first.
I thought it was going to break. I was like, oh, I'm about to catch it. Let's rock.
Mhm.
And it just consolidated and it went, bro, once it hits resistance, you know the vibe.
Yeah.
Once it taps resistance, you know what's going to do. We've been through
Yeah.
this. It's like touching the minute high or hour high.
Right.
It's gonna pull back.
Yeah.
So, I'm just hoping to see where it could hold and then go from there with my technicals. But that is something I had to share with y'all. That is the L.
Mhm.
I'm down
Mhm.
down in that and learn from my mistakes, everyone. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's nice.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Knowing that when sometimes a stock doesn't break resistance, you want the stock to actually show some type of confirmation that it will break. Even though it crossed right here on the MACD, I'm not saying that this is the day that you bought it on, but when it crossed on the MACD and showed that it couldn't break this $26 area, it was going to fade, and it was going to fade towards the 200 SMA, and that's why I had the
And you,
200 SMA there, because it gives me an idea of where it can actually go down to, if possible, right? So we knew that once it couldn't break here, it came down to what, 2340,
yeah,
and it continued to test this 2340 back over here, and it came down. So it took a
yeah.
couple
I
of days
saw
for
it.
it to test it. But once it tested the 2340, 2330-ish area, it, it just came down, and it came down to the 200 SMA. The 200 SMA is like that stop area. It's like a
Mhm.
Right.
level of indecision, a level of,
And,
should I go higher or should I just pull back and trade below the
and
200?
bro, and that's the thing. That 200 is the low. That is the
Mhm.
low. Right there, like to 22 and change, that's the low. So bad bad positioning.
Mhm.
But besides that, everything else worked out.
Yeah, I know you're holding some good positions over there, so I know that this is probably the only one that's really giving you some worry.
Yeah, yeah, I'm good with Gon. Um, IPOC, I got into a good position on too, and yeah,
Okay, IPOC looks like it still has some movement here on the upside.
I got in on the option chart. My first trade on that, I got in at $2, and then I made a quick 150, got out and got back in when it pulled back. I think it's at 208 right now, but I got in like at 210. So
That's
it
the
wasn't that bad. That was
okay.
the IPOC.
Okay. The
Okay.
warrant. You did the warrant.
No, he didn't do the warrant. He just did the option for IPOC.
Oh,
The
the
option,
option.
yeah,
Option.
the
Okay.
options, yeah. That's all I did, yeah.
Okay.
And you said you got
Yeah.
in on GAN.
GAN, yeah, I got it in Ghana as well. Yeah.
Yeah. This is one I'm also holding. I actually should have sold it when it was up here, when the market opened. Um, on the hour chart, it still shows me that it's going to retest this like $20 area. If it breaks down on $20, I'm down $10 on it. If it breaks down below $20, then I'm going to get out. Um,
Okay.
that's just because, like, I don't want to hold something that I feel like that can come down further. But if,
Hmm.
like Fitz said with his, like if it's a green day, which technically it should be a green day, because if you look at futures, everything is pretty much up right now. Um, then I could see this retesting 20, 21.5. To retest 21.5, then I have more upside.
Right.
So, but this one I'm cautious on just because I need to see during the hour how this TTM squeeze is going to be. If we get histograms that are too long, like over here, then we know that the 200 is going to be tested. So that's why I like that hour chart because I get a chance to really capture in the closed market hours and seeing what the direction might be. But if it hits resistance during the closed market hours, once the market opens, it might pop up on a fake out breakout, but actually pull back. So I'm actually
Right.
like looking at something similar to what happened on this day, which was Wednesday, 2 Wednesdays ago, on December 24th. So you said IPOC. We talked about IPOC. We talked about gains. We talked about ENPH.
Hey, are you still in play?
Huh?
Did you get it? Did you get into play?
Oh,
Did you get
right.
into play, or did
Yes.
or did you get into UDS? Did you get into Fly? Those are all the stocks you were mentioning last week.
No, I got into play because of reopening. So
Right.
I'm in it right now. I was just gonna my original strategy was just to look to get a quick buck on a stock chart. But once I started to look at play and analyze it, I got in on a good position. Um, I got in when it was actually on this on this green candlestick.
Nice.
But it started to pull back right towards the end of the day. So off of this day or this hour, which was the 11 p.m. hour, 11 a.m. hour,
Hmm.
into lunch, it went higher. And then on the 1 p.m. hour, it stayed higher. But that 2 p.m. hour, that's when it was starting to find resistance. And this is where I was thinking, should I sell? But I started to
Mm.
look at the TTM squeeze and starting to see all the cyan histograms and
Right.
that there was some consolidation above the x-axis on that TTM sweep. And then plus also the MACD cross and that there was a cross on the moving averages. So I figured that, hey, it's still holding above the moving average. The On this chart right now, it's a 9-day moving average, but when I was using it with the 5-day moving average, and it's still holding above. So I said, hey, it's
Okay.
still trading above that. I should not worry and just allow the technicals to do its own.
Of
So
course.
if if
Yep.
if for some odd reason it starts to pull
Go
back
below. Yeah.
below 29.5, then I'm gonna start looking at getting out because I don't want
Okay.
29.5 to be hit, and then this starts coming down to below 29.5 to 20 to 29, and then possibly to 28.7. So 28.7 is right here because this is the previous support right here.
Mm.
So I don't want that to be tested at all. I have the $30 calls, so I'm in the money currently, but not by much. So I'll be looking to see if this $30 area gets retested. So it tested it once, twice, 3 times prior to. I'm hoping that during the pre-market gets retested again and goes higher. But I will still keep my eyes open for something like this, where when the market opens, you have this hard resistance, and it pulls back. And that was
Mm.
from where it was trading during the pre-market hours. So I'll be looking to see if there's any type of, stalemate at this $30.30 area. That's play. We talked about UTS before. UTS is a recent IPO. This is the UTS brand, the chips. If you like
Uts.
popcorn,
Facts.
all that stuff, this is here. So UTS, I feel still has some type of upside, but I think that's still going to pull back because I see that the MACD is trying to cross here. But if it doesn't, then it will bounce and go to the $23 area. But start looking at any downside risk and take it to the hour chart. On the hour chart, start looking to see if there's any downside risk to 2179, maybe 2188 or so, or 2190 ish. like the low 90s on that cent because it could still possibly pull back. And if it pulls back, since it is trading below the 5 EMA, which or the 9 EMA, which I don't think it will pull back that bad. I really think that this stock will go up higher. Their their finances are really good. If you ever get a chance to look at their finances, you'll see it. I guess let me show you because I do believe that this one will.
What's the symbol?
UTZ, UTZ.
Or UTZ? Or the one that you send in the week?
Only one what?
You send that one to me in the week.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I sent you that one. I think I sent you like two other ones.
Play too.
Play.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's one I was in one of the time and in and out, you know.
So, because they haven't been out.
So the overall trend with this one is it's going down a little bit, but if it turn back up, that is us. You see the balance sheet is good.
Yeah, their balance sheet, looking at it quarterly because they haven't been on the market too long. But when you
What's
look
the
at it, like
volume?
you see what
What's
their
the
average.
volume like on this one?
Say that again.
What's the volume like on this one?
This one was trading on average. On average, it was 687,000. On
Oh,
on Thursday, because it was a shortened day, it traded half that volume. So if we get more volume, definitely, then it could go higher. Um, but trading around that 600,000 and above on a relatively short float, I think the float was like 39 million. 7% of that, which is less than 3 million, is shortable shares. I feel that if it can continue with strong volume, it will continue to outperform what it's done thus far, even though it has a short relative time on the market.
yeah, but everything here show me pointing downwards. So I don't
On
know.
Lux, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's showing weakness. That's why I was saying the downside risk. The downside
Okay.
risk around that 2190-ish area, that's what you really need to be mindful about.
Okay. One of the things that I noticed. Hello.
Yep.
Yeah. One of the things that I noticed with the market is I don't know. I touched something on the phone there. Miss. I'm gonna try. Let's hope I don't get cut off. Oh yeah, I'm back. One of the things
Mm-hmm.
that I noticed, I don't know if you guys interested in small